Hello, hello, hello. It's Toria Howard, the real estate educator, here to educate you. I am a licensed real estate agent in the beautiful city of Detroit and the surrounding areas, but that doesn't mean I cannot educate you so that you can go wherever you need to go and work with all the wonderful real estate agents in your area. And I can assist you with that as well because I know real estate agents all across this country, from east, west, north, south, midwest. Yes, I am in the Midwest. I feel like it's the North, but they call us the Midwest. But that doesn't mean that you can't come here for the education and go there to help assist you in your home search. So please like, comment, share this video. Also, subscribe for more information like this. I am passionate about financial literacy and home ownership because I understand the emotional and financial side of purchasing a home because I was there too. I was a homeowner. I bought a four-bedroom, two and a half bathroom home, 2,700 square feet for 150,000 in Memphis, Tennessee when I was living there. And it was my first home, like 2,700 square feet, your first home. It was like overwhelming. And I didn't have a financial strategy. And I lost my home because of that. So I'm passionate. I'm passionate about teaching financial literacy so people won't fumble the bag like I did. That hard money lesson is tough to bear when you lose something you worked so hard for. And when nobody teaches you how to keep what you pray for, it let me tell you, it creates a pain inside of you that is I can't even describe it, but I'm over it now. So that's why I do these videos so that I can show you the financial side. I assist families and individuals on how to increase their financial IQ in order for them to invest in themselves through a personal property or investment property. And I know people are saying, don't buy a single family home. A single family home can be 2 to 4 units. That's still considered a classified single family home if you have multiple units. So don't let people tell you got to buy an apartment building first. You can still buy a duplex, a triplex, or a quad, which is a fourplex. However, your terminology is in your city, and still live in one and rent out the other ones and still build wealth for your family. So don't let people discourage you from that. So that's a different story for a different day. But I also have my book, Keys to Your Castle, to assist you with that. So that pre-order is up now. The link will be in the description section of this video, and it will, just comment Castle if you are looking to get your financial literacy. It's a workbook style book. You can write in it. It has spiral. It's very different, and you will be able to get free downloads of all of the charts and the different spreadsheets that I've made to help you make sound financial decisions when you are purchasing your first home, because you got to have a financial plan. And I know people don't like spreadsheets. I'm a business major, so I learned how to make spreadsheets back in, when I was in business school and all of the things. But education is my passion. So what we talking about today? Remember, like, comment, subscribe, share, please. We talk about how smart homeowners use their homes to build wealth. And I know people say you can't do that, but I just showed you, or I just told you that there are multiple ways you can do it. So most people buy a home, it's just for a place to live. You want to live, grow, and be able to do with your home. Like the biblical principle, be, do, have. You want to be, do, have in your home as well. So smart homeowners know their house can become one of their biggest wealth building tools, and also can be the biggest, liability if you don't have a financial strategy. And it became a liability for me because I did not have a financial strategy. So the thing is that you have to do first is your mindset. And that's what my book, Keys to Your Castle, I start with mindset. Because a lot of times people forget about that when they're thinking about a home. They don't think that they have to change. When you've been doing something for a long period of time, you are kinetically used to doing it. It's repetitive, it's repeated. So it's like you got to work yourself into a new mind frame. So your mindset has to change. So I do a mindset shift in my book, the first part of my book. But one of the things you have to do is figure out, what is your relationship with money? And ask yourself that question. I was a spender. I used to spend everything that I got. That's just what it was, right? So you need to make sure that you understand your relationship with money. Are you a hoarder? Are you afraid to, invest? Only time you're afraid to do something is when you're not knowledgeable about it. And a lot of people come to me that are not knowledgeable and they're afraid, and I give them the opportunity to become knowledgeable. But you have to want it. Your mindset has to change. And the thing is, you're going to encounter some things that's going to challenge your thinking. You're going to encounter things that's going to go against what you used to know. You're going to come against some things that your parents, your grandparents, or whomever has taught you that's so totally different. And you don't like to go against those people, but you have to do what's right for you and your family. So the difference between home ownership and wealth building is your mindset. Knowing your relationship with money, knowing where you are in your finances, budgeting, doing all those things, and understanding your landscape of your home. All of us should be thinking of our lives as a business. And I know that sounds crazy, but you should be having meetings with your family quarterly, monthly, yearly, all of it, just like a business does, and figure out what you need to do next. Like me and my family, we're thinking about buying a duplex together to live in. Now, would I want my own single family home? Yes, but the opportunity is out there. So it kind of piqued my interest. So it just all depends on what it is that you all want to do as a unit. So say for instance, if you have, I don't have a lot of siblings, but if you have a lot of siblings and maybe you have four, and maybe y'all don't you're just starting out. I'm talking to maybe younger people. Maybe it's for y'all, you may be close in age. Why wouldn't y'all buy, you know, it- well, if it's for y'all, definitely would, you could buy an apartment building if it's like that. But if you don't want to start with that, buy a fourplex. You all stay in it and pay the mortgage together. And guess what? All of you all are on the mortgage together. You got the experience. You can use the equity. Of course, business has to come into play where you will have to have separate contracts and different things of separation if somebody wants to move, because y'all things are going to change. So, you're going to have some business contracts and things in place, for that partnership once it shifts. But that's something that you will have to, get in order. Y'all sit down and say, like, well, hey, if one of us move out, we're going to have somebody move in, whatever that plan is, right? That's shifting your mindset, right? On thinking more or less how to make the money work for you, how to make the money a vehicle, right? So the second thing is equity. And a lot of people don't understand how that works. So equity is the difference between how much you owe versus how much your home is worth. So for instance, if you owe $100,000 on your home, but you uh it's worth 200,000, you have $100,000 gap in between there that you can use for things that build wealth, not anything else, not anything that depreciates. You want things that appreciate. So you want to make sure that you're purchasing, if you're going to use that you're going to use it for things that's going to give you a return on investment. Buying another property, investing in stocks, whatever that is going to give you a return on investment, or putting it back into the home where you can sell it for more or charge more in rent, or whatever improvements that you think you need. So your mortgage, just paying down your mortgage alone can help you build that equity. Also, if you bought right and you bought in an area that appreciates, it's going to appreciate quickly. Now you're going to have to buffer in, the taxes are going to increase. But if you bought an area where the depreciation is going to turn around fast, then your equity is going to grow even more. So typical appreciation around the country is 1 to 5%. But you have some areas that are growing faster because of the new developments. If you got a Chick-fil-A coming in your neighborhood, you need to buy there. They do, I don't eat Chick-fil-A, but the thing is they have, shout out to them, but they have the most amazing real estate strategy. They only go where they know that their building is going to bring the most traffic. And if you have something like new developments coming into your neighborhood, brand new stores, government buildings, and building parks, and doing the street, these are signs that it's a turnaround. I don't care if it was the hood, I don't care, whatever the case may be. The thing is, you need to understand that this is going to be a turnaround. You have to open your eyes to see the things you cannot see and seize every opportunity. And you have to be thinking like an investor. So you want to go in places where it's appreciating, like some areas in Detroit. Our appreciation is 7 to 12%. And some are going to increase even more once the Joe Louis Greenway is completed next year. Those are 28 zip codes. And by 2030, those areas are going to be skyrocketing, just like they did at the Beltway in Atlanta. You need to understand what's going on in your own city. Indianapolis is moving, Milwaukee is moving, Chicago is always moving. Cleveland is definitely getting developments. Dan Gilbert is developing things in Detroit and in Cleveland. So you need to be making sure that you are understanding what's going on in your neck of the woods and figuring out how you can be a part of it. That's what I'm doing. There's a lot of people around here are starting to do. So the next thing you want to think about is your strategy. You should always have an exit strategy when you purchase a home. That's the first thing. So if you want to have, if this is your forever home, refinancing is not a bad idea, but you want to do it kind of early and it will make sense to use financially if you can get a way cheaper rate, or something happens where that makes sense for you financially. I'm not a loan officer, but I will let you know, if you're 10, 15, 20 years in talking about some refinancing, you did something totally wrong at the beginning, because that means you're going to start all the way back at 1 to 30, or however many days they have on that sheet, your amortization schedule. You don't want to do it that late. I would say maybe the latest, maybe 5 years, and then, figure out how to restructure from there. Another way is using a home equity line of credit. The home equity line of credit can be used to, improve your home. You can use it to, pay down debt. You can use it for investing in things, investing in a business, investing in another home, investing in the stock market. So you want to use that, but the only thing about that is you have to pay it back. So you want that money that you're using from your home to be moving in a vehicle that's bringing you money back to you. So that'll be totally up to you as to what you want to use it for. And as far as your exit strategy is concerned, say for instance, this is not your forever home, and you know that, you want to move between 2 to 5 years, right? You need to know how much it will sell for in the future, with your appreciation, because you should be doing your appreciation in your area. It's not hard to look up. All you got to do is put in your address. You even ask your lender, but it's not easy. It's not hard to find. Now, ChatGPT probably will be able to tell you. You know what I'm saying? If you use Chat or Claude or whatever, they say not to use Chat. No, every time we get something, they tell us not to use it. But anyway, um, just make sure that you're understanding how much it'll sell for in the future because of your appreciation, how much it'll rent for, how much how much money you can get for a short term rental, how much can you get for a long-term rental? Because you have people that come in, like corporate people. If you live in an area where a lot of corporate people come in and they're visiting for maybe 3 months, 6 months, traveling nurses, they're usually on assignment for like 3 to 6 months. So, people like that who don't want to go into our apartment, maybe they want a house or whatever. So knowing how much you can do with corporate renting. That's a strategy. So you want to have a strategy and know these strategies. But you're doing this before you buy, though. You want to know your strategy, your exit strategy, your different strategies before you even buy. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share this video, please. So you want to know that you have the ability to do whatever it is that you need to do. Either sell it if you want to, you move out, make it a rental, you know, and you use the equity from that home to purchase another property or your own home or whatever you feel like you want to do. Or like I said, you want to play Monopoly. You buy it. It's the burst strategy. But that is, you buy, you repair, you rent, you refinance, like That's another strategy, but that's an investor strategy. That's something if you're not going to live in it or whatever the case may be, or maybe you know somebody that is going to live in it for you. But it's so many different strategies. You have to pick the one that works best for you and your family and what you want to do as far as building wealth for your family. And that's what it's all about. So, you want to think of long-term planning. That's the last thing. And I kind of touched on that. You want to think about the house being more than just something to live in, because that's what I just did. I just lived in my house. I didn't think about equity and appreciation and how I can use it. I didn't know any of those things. I didn't realize that my house was going to skyrocket once COVID hit and all of those different things. I had moved out a year before. I sold my house for 167,000. And when COVID hit, it jumped from 167,000 in value to 225. Even if I would have waited then, I would have came out on top. Then the next year, 2021, well, going into 2022, it was up to 250. 2023, it was 275. 2024, when I looked at it the last time, it was 300 and something. Could be worth 300 something, but it had went back down because the people that's living in the house they haven't reported that they made any improvements. So if they would have made the improvement, it would have been made worth 325,000. They did put up a new fence. The roof was kind of brand new when I first moved in there, but it was 10 years old by the time the new people moved in. But I didn't have a long-term strategy. I was just living in it, didn't know what to do, didn't know what I was doing or where I was going, or I didn't even know that I was gonna move back to Detroit. But the thing is, if I would have thought like an investor when I bought my home for a steal. 150,000, 4 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms. 150,000, 2,700 square feet. You know how much 2,700 square foot home is today? Almost 400,000 in some areas, if not more in other areas. That's $1 million home in like California. New York probably too. So, you know, just to think of the strategy that I could have had would have made me so much more wealth for my family. Think about if I could have took that 100 to $200,000 with me, with the things that I know now, what I could have did with that. Oh, God. But it's okay. I'm teaching you so that you won't make the same hard money mistakes. So like, comment, share, subscribe. Don't forget to do that. And your house shouldn't just give you shelter. It should build wealth for you. So like I said before, buy a duplex. If you're a single person, just don't buy a single family home. Have the parameters in place, get your knowledge up, get the parameters in place where you will be safe. I want you to be safe. Have the parameters in place, but know how to vet tenants because you got to do that, you know, and get you a mentor, whatever the case may be. But, you know, play Monopoly out here. It's a Monopoly game. Buy the duplex, live in it, move out, buy another one, live in it, move out, buy another one. Guess what? You did 4 of those, you get your mansion. It's Monopoly. Or maybe you can do it in 2. If you buy right and the appreciation is going up and you pay that people paying that rent. Because the average 2 bedroom, 1 bath here, depending on the area, is like 900, 950. And if it's really nice, you can get 1,300 for a 2 bedroom. You get 200, if not more than that, depending on some areas, it's about 15. 18. So depending on, that's like the Royal Oaks and the Bloomfields, but not well, downtown Detroit, you could probably get there depending on the fancy building and the HOAs and all of that. But you need to know these things. And if you get it to where, say for instance, you making after expenses, because when you do this, you have to have your expenses as well. You should always have an emergency fund for the rentals that you have. That 1% rule still apply. That 1% rule still apply. Always know good maintenance people, get you a good management company if you're busy, take those fees. And then if you are, they say if you are making at least 250 a month, that's good. I say, and a lot of people like the mentors and stuff I know that do this, 500 is minimum. Some of them would say 1,000 is minimum. Take home the after expenses, after the savings, after the everything. So, but whatever, start somewhere and increase that as you go along with the more knowledge. So I'm gonna end with this. If you want more of a financial strategy behind home ownership, plan to join my free masterclasses at the end of this month at Sunday, March 29th at 7 p.m. I'll be showing you how to create a financial plan, a financial strategy for you for your first home, or if you're already a homeowner, showing you how to turn your home into a house wealth building powerhouse. So comment home for that link and to register, and I will put the link in my description section for my book, Keys to Your Castle, a step-by-step guide for first-time homebuyers. But it's not just for first-time homebuyers, it's for people who have already bought a home and maybe you need a financial strategy. I have that in here for you. So till next time, thank you for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you for another Toria Real Estate Educator briefing. Have an amazing day.